on, everybody? Welcome to season 7, episode 15. Are we there yet? And the reason why I have that for a title tonight is because, as soon as I can find it here, we are exactly 1 month until the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs. 1 month, everybody. So are we there yet? Absolutely not. Not even close. We're gonna go over the standings tonight. Um, we'll let you know how far you got, especially Islander fans. Buckle up, boys and girls. You're in for a you're in for a long, long month. Let me tell you. Again, 1 month away from the playoffs, boys and girls. My name is Paul Kreischer. I am your host for this evening. That's not what I want. All right, I'll go along with that. I'm assuming what's up, Brian? Islanders signed Cole Eiserman to their ELC. Okay, breaking news there. So, all right. Well, listen, we'll do a little bit of both. Um, we're going to talk about Aitcheson, and if Eiserman did in fact sign his ELC, I'll give you my thoughts on Eiserman as well, and we're going to go over the standings. We'll do the point pace. We'll get you guys all settled for that. And I'm actually going to bring up another topic um, in the numbers don't lie banner here, and it's been bugging me a little bit this season, as you know, the NHL as a whole. So I'm gonna dive into that. I'm gonna see how that affected the Islanders, what they did about it, and we're gonna go from there. A little bit more of optimism towards the end of the show when it comes to a topic like that. Um, so yeah, breaking news. I guess Eisman signed his ELC according to Thomas Boyle, and again, if if that did not happen, Thomas is in trouble. So can someone back that up for me, please? Evening, Charles. Evening, Robin. So let's get into the standings real quick. Um, yeah, we'll keep this up. Are we there yet? No, not even close. Western Conference. So I can tell you right now, the Nashville Predators probably have until this weekend to keep themselves alive in this playoff hunt. Maybe a little bit longer. The Jets are trying to make a comeback, but I don't see it. The Preds are going to have a tough time getting over the Kraken, the Kings, and the Sharks for that last playoff spot. To their credit, could they go the entire season? Sure. They could be in the runnings for it. They could be out by games 81 and 82. That's going to be a common theme here on this show. But in all honesty, guys, I don't. If the Preds lose 2 solid 3 games in a row, I don't see them hanging on at all. The Avalanche and the Stars, as we all know, they're the darlings of the Western Conference. The Minnesota Wild right now are third in the Central and third in the West. They're not going anywhere. And to be honest with you, if you're a Western Conference team, that actually bothers me. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to dip down to fourth. You might want to catch the Stars for home ice advantage. Okay, but you don't have to. They're just there. They're just pacing themselves. The Minnesota Wild could run 4 lines for the rest of the season, and they probably won't move out of third. Okay. The Wild should scare the Western Conference. They don't have to do anything. They are literally pacing themselves. The Stars and the Avalanche, there's just enough separation, but if there's an injury or two, got to be major. And then you've got a battle for fourth in the conference. Just having fun here. The Ducks are in first, but then you got Vegas and the Oilers. They're going to be battling it out probably for the rest of the season. You've got Utah in fourth place. They've got the number one wild card spot at the moment. And then the Kraken, no, I'm sorry, it's the Sharks for right now. They're tied with the Kraken, LA, and the Preds. The Pacific Division is a hot mess. We all know that. Um, Honestly, I could see eighth place. I can see eighth place being fought out and won on the last day of the season. I could definitely see that. And we're going to get into the East in a minute. But I'm going to throw this question out here to everyone in the chat room. Yes or no answer. With everything with the standings getting as tight as they are, do you guys want to see a playoff format, something similar to the NBA or Major League Baseball? Do you want to see seven, eight, nine, 10 make the playoffs, battle it out, and then head for the regular playoffs? Uh, just type in yes or no if you wanted to see the expanded playoffs moving forward. We all know with Batman, it's probably not going to happen, but this is generally just just a question out there. A lot of no's, some yeses. Expanded playoffs for the NHL. 16 teams is enough. Yes, no, no. A little bit of a tie here. I'm a little interested. I'm interested to see that. He did sign his ELC. Oh, hold on here. There we go. Okay, so that's the confirmation I was looking for. Okay, so a lot of no's. Okay, so for those of you who want your no's, that you guys already know this is your playoffs. And the one thing you want to really want to appreciate moving forward, especially in the NHL at this point, your playoffs probably now start in the beginning of March. Think about that. You've got a solid 4 to 6 weeks. If your team is still in it, you got a chance. Your playoffs start in the beginning of March almost every year now, as long as you're not the Devils, as long as you're not the Rangers, something else like that. It's about time you showed up. Where the hell have you been? Uh huh. So, um, Western Conference, are you there yet? Absolutely not. You're not going to be. Oh, Eastern Conference fans, let's get this done and over with. Washington, Jersey, Florida Leafs, and the Rangers are going to be out. Well, they are out. Um, Washington does not have enough track to catch up, and what we've been seeing in the month of March is a lot of loser points, overtime lost points. Let me go with that. And a lot of teams are not losing in regulation. Um, yeah, Thomas, they're never getting rid of the loser point. They're keeping it. Look at what they're doing. They're expanding the playoffs for literally another quarter of a season, a month in. They're not going to get rid of it. The TV ratings are going to go through the roof now at this point. Everybody's in it. The Flyers, all my Flyer fans, got some family down in Delaware, big time Flyer fans. Um, they've got about 4 games left. They probably have to go 3-1. I mean, it's tight. You've got the Wings, you've got the Bruins and Columbus right now, all on pace for 99, and the Flyers are at 92. I think if the Flyers go 2-2, I don't. Yeah, definitely 3 regulation losses in their next 5 games. I think they'd be out. It's just if they go 2-3, they're out. If they go 2-1, I think they'd be out in another week and a half at most. But they have not been losing in regulation either. They are right there. They Out of all of those teams, they have the most ties. So I can't officially knock out Philadelphia yet. Um, the Wings, they got to survive at least another week, week and a half. If they can survive another week, week and a half, they can make one. one hell of a run into these playoffs. It's going to be that much fun. Ottawa Islander fans, you got them coming up next. Um, please don't sleep on Ottawa. Don't skip Ottawa and move on to Montreal. That'll be a very bad idea. They're hot. There's just no other way to say it. They're hot. They're ready. They got that momentum. Part of the Ottawa Senators right now. They're kind of reminding me of the Florida Panthers of a couple of years ago. I'm not saying that Ottawa's going to win the Stanley Cup, but Ottawa is a team that can put up one hell of a streak to get into the playoffs, and then who the heck knows where they're going with that. Um, Islander fans, be careful of Ottawa coming up. Um, Columbus refuses to lose in overtime in regulation. Boston is right there. Boston has never left. And then you've got the Islanders, and we're going to get into them in a little bit. Um, the Sabres, they're so close right now to the Hurricanes for that first spot. By the way, anyone in the chat room, update those scores, please. Devils, Rangers, please. I know the Capitals are also playing tonight. And I think there's one more we're all scoreboard watching with. So if you give me a score, I'll put it up on the chat room here. We'll talk. I'll put the score up. But Devils and Rangers, it doesn't really matter at the moment. But seeing the Rangers lose, that's never a bad thing. No scores yet. See, this is. Oh, thank you. It was Pitt and Carolina. No scores yet. That's fine. Beautiful. 2 live games are 0-0. There we go. Scoreboard watching. Yeah, the Canes in Pittsburgh right now, right off the bat. Um, if you're a Sabres fan, you're rooting for the Pens, and if you're an Islanders fan, you're you're going to have to root for the Hurricanes. There's just no other way about it. Islander fans, you're going to be in a dogfight all the way to game 82. I can't see this changing any other way. Our only hope is that we can drag Pittsburgh down with us. Um, it would be nice to knock off the Pens a little bit, add a little more blood pressure to the Penguins fans. That would be phenomenal. The Habs, I'm not sure. Their goaltending is so iffy, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. When I did the draft a couple of years ago, I really wanted Jacob Fowler. I did. I wanted the Islanders to draft Jacob Fowler some way, somehow. He went to Montreal, and when this kid gets his when he gets his game on, Jacob Fowler could absolutely win any game, especially with Montreal there. I don't want to say 1993 or a Carey Price moment, but Jacob Fowler absolutely could change that whole trajectory for Montreal moving forward. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, let me do that. Yeah, they're going to be leaning on Fowler. Fowler has won. He has won in almost every league he's been in. Fowler is the real deal, guys. The Caps are, in my humble opinion, yes, they're done. I don't think they have enough games to actually catch up with the rest of them, which has boggled my mind all season long. Um, Kudos to a couple of people who said they thought the Capitals were going to regress. They have regressed a little bit, and they're going to be one of those teams. I'll be interesting watching over the offseason to see what they do. And that's what scares me, Robin. That's what scares me. Montreal could very much be a momentum team heading into the playoffs if he gets everything right. Um, yeah, again 93. Your Carey Price years. All of a sudden they show up. He gets hot. Throw out every kind of stat we know. Throw out any kind of prediction. With the Habs. So, Islander fans, I would rather face Pittsburgh over Columbus. Okay. Columbus is dangerous aside from their goaltending. Correct. Isles did take a step forward. I'm wondering why you guys are sleeping on Pittsburgh. Yeah, I honestly, I'm just going to enjoy the playoffs if they make it. I'm going to enjoy the playoffs if they make it. Um, I said on the show last week with Gary, who is, by the way, he was going to be on the show tonight, but he's packing for the trip to Montreal on Saturday. So Gary's not going to be joining us. I said last show that with the amount of movement that happened, the trades and everything else like that, I felt that what the Islanders spent, they need to get past the first round. My humble opinion. They have to get past the first round. They might if everything falls into place. And there's going to be a stat that I'm going to show you guys that might actually help them out. Yeah, Brian, I'm kind of with that. And Skinner's another one, guys. Skinner's not really playing yet. But this one I agree with. Yeah, Crosby. Crosby does not want this to be the last year of his playoff career. He's gonna he's gonna want more. I'm starting to like the Shen deal too, Charles, and I'm actually going to tell you why in a little bit. Moving forward, another little piece of news, and this one I was prepped for, and that is, oh, let me take out that banner here. Kashawn Aitcheson signs his ELC, his entry level contract, which does not kick in until next season. So, very literally and figuratively, um, if the Barry Bulldogs do not get out of that first round somehow, I doubt it. They should go to the OHL, at minimum OHL conference finals. If for some reason they get upset and he's not in the OHL anymore, he can sign an ATO with the Bridgeport Islanders for this season because his contract does not kick in until next season, as many have already reported. So, getting back to this, what are you getting out of Aitcheson? Yeah, I'm going to talk with Iserman in a minute. What are you getting out of Aitcheson? So, I have my prospect rankings almost done. I'm watching Aitcheson during these playoffs. I'm going to be watching Eklund during their playoffs, but for the most part, the college kids are almost done. I think Finley may be going to the big dance. We're not sure yet. The closest comparisons, and again, make sure you read that banner. ... As of now, what are you getting out of Kashawn Aitcheson? Okay, as of now, if there's two players that some Islander fans would remember, I would put Aitcheson in a mold. Something similar to Travis Hamonic and Adrian O'Coin. Correct. Kasperitis with size and a shot, for those of you who remember, was Vladimir Malikov. Brendan Witt, far too slow. Okay, Brendan Witt back in his day was a bully. Aitcheson can be more than that. I bring in Adrian O'Coin because Aitcheson's shot reminds me of Adrian O'Coin. O'Coin had a blistering shot. Could Aitcheson put up 44 points in an Islander season someday? He could. You can't deny him that right now. Again, as of now. Chara, not as a New York Islander, no. Chara was not here long enough. Chara was also 3 or 4 inches longer, taller. And the reason why I put Travis Hamonic in there is because even as Travis Hamonic got slower, he's still playing. He's got that defensive mind that keeps him in the game. If Aitcheson can learn, and a couple have already said this, if Aitcheson can learn his game in the AHL over the course of another year or two, he could last a lot longer than a lot of people may think in the NHL. Aitcheson, like Boychuk. Boychuk was a little bit bigger. I like the comparison. I think we're all on that same path. Um, I think he can have a harder slap shot than Boychuk. I thought Adrian or Coin's slap shot was bigger than Boychuk's. But again, you're all on that. We're all on that same like, oh, look at you go, Gord Lane. Good Lord, that's Gord Lane again was a bully, but he was a good bully. That's oh, imagine that. Malakoff, yeah, Malakoff is tough as an Islander because again, so is Boychuk. Those guys racked up 55 points, in their prime. I don't want to go that far yet with Aitcheson. I think Aitcheson is going to get you a solid 27, 32 points a season, depending on where he is. And he may even get you 40 points a season, maybe 1 or 2 years. 50, let him do that. Let him do that. Dustin Bufflin, that's another good. I like that comparison. Not an Islander, not an Islander, but I like that. I think Aitchison is going to help out this team. I don't want to say short term. I think no. I don't know about a young Letty. Letty is a little faster than Aitchison. Not yet. Not yet. Like I said, he's got that Adrian Aucoin, Johnny Boychuk, wicked slap shot. That's there defensively. I think that's what he needs the American League for. And then he's going to learn what the Islanders want him to do while he's on the ice without the puck on his stick. That's going to be the big one. Boogaloo. Ah, I like that one. No, Chris Pronger's a bull. No, no. That's too much. Yeah, Pronger. No, that I won't do. That's way too much. Okay, Boychuk, the slap shot, sure. A coin, yes. Even Hamonic. Hamonic defensively was still. He never really was out of position until we all started to see how slow he got as he started to age, and his injuries did creep up. I think even with if Aitchison were to get injured, I think when he learns the position, the way he's going to hit is going to remind you of a Travis Hamonic. He did. Absolutely. Yeah. 1-0 Canes. There we go. Yes, you guys know I don't look at preseason. I try not to look at preseason at all. I've said this before. Gary and Brush, they like literally drag me along the floor, and my nails are digging into the floor. It takes a lot for me to watch preseason games. I'm going to enjoy Aitchison in Hamilton or Bridgeport, wherever they're playing. Um, Having said that, um, Cole Eiserman now just signed right before we did this show. Go figure. So breaking news, folks. Cole Eiserman is now on the Islanders. Um, are we sure? And again, I haven't seen it. Did he sign his ELC? Or did he sign in an anim or I'm sure his ELC must have kicked in for next season, because then if he's gonna play for Bridgeport this season, it's just going to be in, ATO, uh, or it could be a PTO, professional tryout, whatever it is. It's gonna be the tryouts with, um, Bridgeport, and he'll be playing for the rest of the season. So, um, it was an ATO. Beautiful. Thank you, Angie. See, breaking news here on Isles Talk, guys. Everyone's up on it. Listen, I got to watch quite a few games from Eiserman this year. His game got a whole lot better without the puck. I saw some tenacity. I saw some good checking. I saw some good forechecking for his play. Um, because of that, I don't see him as an Oliver Wallstrom. Um, this beautiful, yeah. For right now, I have really liked his shot. We all know about his shot, but I was really curious about his overall play, the 200-foot game. I will say this: his 200-foot game has improved. I was very happy with the way he was playing. Yes. No, 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 no. I'm not saying he's a finished product by no means. For me, humbly, it would not have mattered to me if he had played at BU for one more year or if he was going to the American League. Either one, he would have still improved. Um, I think in this case, going to the American League, even though you're going to have the coaches there, I still feel that you're going to need a centerman to help him out. I don't know if that's going to be Liam Foodie. Personally, Alex Jeffries, Liam Foodie, and Cole Iserman on one line. Yes, please. Give me that line next season. Cole Iserman will get the puck. No doubt. Cole Iserman will probably score some goals. No doubt. But Foodie has the speed to make up any mistakes Iserman has. And Jeffrey's two-way game is much better than the season before and whatnot. And he has come a long way. Absolutely. And I have loved his play. I have loved Eisman's play since January. Like you talk about a complete game for Cole Eiserman at his point, loved it. Yeah, absolutely loved it. So for me, the bottom line is Aitcheson ready? Yes. For the American League. Is Cole Eiserman ready for the American League? Yes. Um, how that all happens, we'll find out. Um, he's got it. Sure he does. He's got it, but now he's going to learn from other people. Now he's going to learn what it means to be a professional. And he's going to soak it all in. And he's going to talk to all of his coaches over there. He's going to do everything that's going to be asked of him. And that's what I'm going to love to see. Um, I would love to see him spend some time with Chris Terry for however long they have left. Okay. Learn the ropes, learn from Chris Terry, learn what it means to be a pro. You've got a couple of guys in that locker room now that you can learn from. And that is correct, Angie. When he's dropping in points, he's usually working on a weak part of his game. And that's gonna be something that Angie, you probably just put it right there. That's going to be him in a nutshell next season as well. If the scoring doesn't come, what is it that he's working on to improve? Yes, absolutely. Me, I'm not worried about what the other critics have said. I have loved his game in the second half, and what I really loved about Cole Eiserman this year is that he had a stumbling point. He stumbled this year. He got up and he got better because of it. You have no idea how much I love prospects who stumble, who have like a tough spot. They find a way to get out of it, and then they're gone. That's exactly what Cole Iserman did this season. Learning experience, and he took off. Loved it. So Aitcheson, oh, I'm sorry. What are you going to get again? As of now from Cole Iserman. And some of you who have watched Cole Iserman, we can talk about this. If Cole Iserman can work on his 200-foot game, and for those of you who are new, number one, welcome. But number two, for those of you who do not know, I've been doing prospects and drafts with Isles Talk and Islanders in general now for since 2008. I'm the most critical out of all of them. That's me. That's how I've always done it. Having said that, if Cole Iserman works on his 200-foot game, I would love to see him in a mold of either Brian Smolinski or Kyle Oposo. I'm not putting Cole Iserman in a Ziggy Palffy conversation. I will not put Cole Iserman in a Mike Bossy situation. I won't do that. He has to show that. But if you get a 200-foot game, let's think about this. A 200-foot game on the first line, Kyle Oposo, Brian Smolinski, with a snipe of, say, a Jason Blake. The only thing he'd have to learn would be something out of Mark Parrish, Matt Molson, or Anders Lee. Net front presence, if he learns how to deflect a few pucks, he's got like a Jason Blake snapshot, which was wicked, 50 goals, by the way. But if you get a 200-foot game, I like this one too. Non-Islanders, I like Dino Ciccarelli. I like that. I think he's got a better shot than Dino, believe it or not. But you're looking at Kyle Oposo and Brian Smolinski. If he can get his 200-foot game going. And I'm talking Kyle Oposo in his prime. I'm talking 74 points in 82 games. Yeah, don't get PTSD. Don't get PTSD. Bellows and Wallstrom, we've already talked about their we already talked about their development. Yes, definitely 40. I thought he scored 50 somewhere. I don't know if he was with the Islanders. Either way, though, we'll take 40 out of Cole Iserman. Yeah, Dino did have grit. We'll see if that grit comes out in Iserman. But you guys understand where I'm going with this now. Iserman with the right centerman is also going to help him. No doubt. Yeah, just to name two, Oposo and Smolinski. Call it 30 goals. Call it 40 goals. That's fine. You round out his game, he could be a point per game, depending on the line Iserman is on. I don't know yet, Jim. And you know what? I know everyone wants to rush the prospects. Especially if they're doing an EA. I that's been the Islanders' Achilles heel now for like the last 30 years. If you're just going to continue this process, you're not going to fix the problem. Okay, the Islanders are going to fix their problems in the offseason when it comes to the power play. Trust me. Steve Thomas was more of a centerman, but yes, he did play left wing. I think Eiserman's going to have a little more speed than Stevie Thomas. But again, Thomas was impactful when he was here on the Islanders. Eiserman's going to be impactful. Okay, I'm not taking that away from you guys. If you want to fix it, believe it or not, Brian, you got to keep the prospects down in the minors, whether it's Bridgeport or Hamilton. Probably Hamilton, but they haven't made that official. They haven't made that official yet. Cap situations, Jesse. The first off, the Islanders are at a full roster, so you couldn't bring them up anyway. Um, Aitcheson is still in the Ontario Hockey League playoffs, and Eiserman's contract and his cap hit won't affect the team right now. It won't. It'll affect them next season. So that's the other reason why. But the Islanders have a full roster. They couldn't make any moves really if they wanted to at the moment. Maybe. Again, let's see what the offseason brings. The Islanders will be answering that one. Good. I'll go along with that. Trent Hunter was a little slower, though. You need Eiserman to be a little quicker than that. And I think, Adam, you and I can both agree Eiserman's shot is going to be better than Trent Hunter's. So, there's one other thing I've been wanting to talk about real quick. Um, I'll talk about Cal Ritchie a little bit later. Look, he's playing great, but now he's on the left wing side. He's a winger. You kind of wanted him as a centerman, right? That's another story for me later. He has been playing well. He's not going down, but guess what? He's now a winger. He was supposed to play center. And yes, he is coming along nicely. But again, the issue I have is that he's playing well as a winger. So that's another gripe for me on another show. Believe me, I'll go into that. It's not a huge gripe, but it's just like, what the hell? In this segment of The Numbers Don't Lie, I really wanted to bring this up to you guys, and I wanted to get your opinions on it anyway. For those of you who have watched, for those of you who have watched the NHL outside of Long Island, other games and whatnot, there's been an aspect of this game this season that I've kind of been disappointed in, and it's I don't want to call it toughness, but there's not a lot of tenacity. There's not a lot of hitting going on, and I'm not talking about the Racco Gudis stuff. It's like the finishing your checks. Um, there's a lot of zone play, and for those of you who have been on the show before, you guys know that this has been my gripe now for a couple of years. There's a lot of minor league, a lot of CHL playing here, and I think we can almost take it to another level of there's a lot of international play now coming into the NHL. It's almost like blending together. I'm trying to think of the word, but the hitting has gone down, the intensity has gone down. There's a lot of zone playing, and I've seen a lot of give and goes because of that. There's a lot of players not finishing their checks. And again, I'm not talking about running people into the boards, trying to cause concussions or whatnot. It's just like if their stick doesn't touch, they don't touch the person. They don't touch their opponent. And yes, there is more skill coming on. There is more speed, and I understand that. But you can prevent, just as an example, you can prevent give and goes by actually hitting, the player beforehand. Um, Adam, that's exactly it. And Adam, I'm gonna go with this even further, Adam. It was the late '90s of the NHL West. That's exactly what this is. And it's just I'm kind of like not used to it, but at the same time, you kind of want to see it a little more. And again, I understand this is a very tough schedule. And this is probably something we're going to see in the future anyway, because of the World Cups, because of the Olympics, because of other things going on, not the All-Star game. You're going to see more of a condensed schedule. So there is a part of me that understands why there isn't a lot of hitting or tenacity or a little more mm, like I guess I'm missing the passion of the game a little bit. A lot of it's very systematic. I don't know if you guys are seeing the same thing. I don't know if but I've listened to other podcasts. I've actually talked to other friends of mine. They're kind of agreeing that there's just something missing, I guess, for us old schoolers. There's just not enough grit to it. Um, so I don't know if you guys have seen the differences. Leave your comments in the chat room. I don't know if you're happy with the game. If you guys are happy with the game, God love you. I would just like to see in the future maybe players. This is what I'm hoping for, Leo. I'm hoping that passion comes out in the playoffs. I'm hoping that passion comes out in the playoffs. Um, the playoffs, the NHL playoffs. I'm not gonna lie. If I can take off a night or that whole week, that first round week, I do it. I'm up till 2 o'clock in the morning watching those playoffs. I love the NHL playoffs. There's nothing better. And again, I used to play basketball, college, whatever and whatnot. And to see the game just go to a 3-point game and whatnot, that's just not, I don't want to see that in the NHL. I don't. Um, I understand why they're doing it this year, and there's a possibility it may go on. That's another good one, Angie. Who's chasing the money, who's chasing the cup. And that's why the teams at the trade deadline, they go for older players. That's another good point here. Got to have a physical forecheck to soften up a defense. And I'm going to get into that. So, the issue that I've been seeing the last couple of seasons, but especially this year, with the passion of the game during the regular season, I wanted to see if that had any relationship. I wanted to see if there was any relationship with the Islanders. And lo and behold, the Islanders were ranked 25th out of 32 in terms of total hits as of this conversation. Yeah, Brian's met me. Yeah, I'm definitely a small forward these days. Used to play every position, but getting back to the Islanders for a minute. I know a lot of you have not been happy with Palat, Susie, and even Braden Shen coming into this locker room. Um, but I'm going to tell you right now, the numbers don't lie. And this kind of ties into what I have just been babbling about the last couple of minutes about, in this case, the lack of hits. Since Andre Palat has shown up and Carson Soucy, there's been 16 games played with the Islanders. And this is something to help you guys forward as we get into the playoffs and moving forward. That's true. Yeah, we got spoiled with the identity line. And I'm gonna throw this in here, guys. Listen to this stat. Since the trades have happened, the Islanders have gone 11-5. Right? Good numbers. Forget about all their numbers in the playoffs. Check this out. When the Islanders have an even number of hits with another team, they're 0-1. Okay, that happens. When they've been out hit, they've gone 5-4. Now, here's the issue with that. 2 of those games were against the Rangers. One of them was against Columbus. We got lucky on that one. The other one was Pittsburgh, where we just beat in overtime. Here's a real good stat. When the Islanders out hit their opponents since acquiring Palat, Soucy, and Shen, the Islanders are 6-0. Let me say that again. When the Islanders out hit their opponents, they're 6-0 since the Palat and Susie trades. Okay? Since the old men have shown up, they've been hitting like everybody else. The Islanders are 6-0 when they have been out hitting their opponents during this 11-5 stretch. Yes, he does look good. Now, I'm not saying the Islanders are not playing with enough passion. We have said this before, and we've all talked about it. When you're in the CHL, unless you're Aitcheson, you're not really hitting a lot. Forget about the Q. They don't hit at all. Okay. There's always that progression that some of the younger players need to learn to in order to have a successful uh, hockey career, a professional career. Okay. We're all learning here. Cal Ritchie's going to be learning from Chen. He better learn how to hit a little bit more and to learn it's okay to hit. Leo, I'm not even talking neutral zone trap. I don't even want to bury trots. I don't even want to bury trots. Just put a body on someone if they're coming near you. Okay. Again, I'm not looking for the clutter or the Martin, knock them down Bash Brothers. Just get in front of somebody. Who's in net? Sure. Most of the time it's Sorokin. We know this. British has not been great. But when you're out hitting your opponents and you're undefeated since those trades have come in, there's something there. Correct. Yep. For their postseason. And what the Islanders need to do now, with a month away to go, they have to start figuring out who's on what line. Line shuffles, eh, they got to figure that out. And there we go. So let's have this conversation. If we know the schedule is going to be like this multiple times throughout the years, are we really just going to do the 90s style Western Conference of the NHL? On who? Offense or defense? That's where I'm at here, guys. When the Islanders out hit their opponents, they're 6-0, but at the same time, do all these hits going to create injuries? All this condensed scheduling. That's my frustration with the league right now. And again, it's just this season. Question is this going to go on? Yeah, but Leo, you're also going to have you got the World Cup coming. You're going to have other things coming up where you're going to have 2, 3 weeks again, 2 or 3 weeks off where there's going to be a condensed schedule. Shabby, not sure yet. He's in the lineup. He kind of plays tough, hard as nails, but I don't know. He's still adjusting to the game, which is what I was kind of up for. I love you, Charles. I don't think they're going to because I think Bridgeport's going to be there. And to be honest with you, if you're going to get anybody to play with Iserman, it's got to be Liam Foudy and Alex Jeffries. Isaiah George is not the hitting type. He can definitely bring up the puck, but I think they're going to use Boquist before they use up George. That's also true. That's also true. And look at where we are in the standings. Look at where everybody is in the standings. Where a month ago, honestly, we haven't seen something. I don't think we've ever seen something like this close. I know there was a time, was it 2017? Correct me if I'm wrong. It was Toronto. It was Tampa. Toronto, Tampa, Washington. No, not Washington. Toronto, Tampa. It was the Islanders. They were like three teams battling for that last playoff spot. It was Austin Matthews' first year in the playoffs, and they got tossed out by the Capitals. That's the last time I think things have been that close. Yeah, but look what the old vets are doing. The old vets are creating chaos. They're creating more hits. Rain Shen has more hits than Jonathan Drouin in this 5-game span that he's here. They're 4-1. Palat had more hits than Siplikov. And we can just go down the line here. So that's been my gripe. We'll see where this passion leads to. I would like the Islanders to continue the hits if they can, and again, depending on the game and whatnot. So, all right, let's get into it. Water cooler talk. Questions, comments, concerns, anything you want. Um, let's just have some fun with this one. Playoff GMs prefer older rosters. They get into it. They know how to win. Look at what Anaheim did. Anaheim got older, and they're in the playoffs. They're first place in the playoffs. They literally just got everybody from the Rangers who was ever left. They moved over. Look out. Now they're in first because they got older. I like the grit that we picked up, and I love the record now that we have that grit. As long as they keep using that grit, we're in good shape. Again, what's going to happen when this team is playing kind of like that same style and we're a little bit on the smaller side? That's going to be something we get to watch over the next month. Yeah, he's still viable. You got to remember, this is his first time coming over, across the pond. Always give them that first year to adjust. Excuse me. There's been a lot of defensemen in Bridgeport. It's also from a lack of time playing. Pulkkinen has not looked out of place in the East Coast League, which is what you kind of want. And he's done all right in the American League for his first year. I've always said this. The first year, I don't really look too much. Does he look out of place in the East Coast League? No. Has he looked out of place in the American League? Sometimes. But again, this is a full life adjustment that first year. I'll probably be a little more critical of Pulkkinen next season. I'm playing your numbers game. I said they needed to go 14-8-2 after they break to get to 97 points. They have gone 7-3 since. Your thoughts? I think you're going to need 100 points to get into the playoffs, man. Yeah, yeah. Um, Playing the numbers game, folks. In all honesty, throw them out. And I say that humbly with the most respect, and that's coming with my own work. Throw out the numbers, boys and girls. Grab your favorite drink, root for your team, hope for the best. This is playoff hockey, guys. When I tell you to throw out the numbers, you're in the playoffs. That's where we are at. Uh do we see Simon getting more time or he will just stay with 44? I think I think for now he's going to stay with 44 because the chemistry's good. You got to go with what works. You got to go with that momentum that's going to get you into the playoffs. If that's what's going to make them work, you got to do it. How involved is Darsh is with the Baby Isles? Let's see. Let First off, I know where you want to go with that, Adam. Let's see where they're playing next year, and then we'll go from there. Um, I'll be all over that. There's a certain Darsh knows that there's a certain way to build up the minor league teams. He's doing it by bringing in Aitcheson, Eklund, and Iserman for next season. Bridgeport slash Hamilton is going to need a little fixing up as well. So he'll answer that, but let's see where they're playing next year and go from there. No, it's not 98. It's not. The Wings right now are in ninth place, and they're on pace for 99 points. You're going to need 100 points. This is something similar to 2013. No, 21 or 22. That first year after COVID, that first full season, all 8 teams had 100 points. Yes, Nelson is staying in the NCAA. He gets to play with his older brother and his younger brother. Kudos to Andrew Gross, who I believe wrote that in Newsday a few days ago. That was a speculation slash 90%. He was kind of right on that. Turns out he was correct completely on that. So kudos to Andrew Gross on his Newsday section about Nelson staying at Notre Dame. During the season, I'm all right with that. But you're getting down to the nitty gritty. I think you got to keep the lines where they are, probably within the next 5 games, 6 games, and then just run them. Eklund, you guys are going to love Eklund. I'm not going to spoil. I'm going to have my own little section with the prospects outside of the professionals in another show. I have my 9 rankings. He's obviously up there. You guys are going to love Eklund. I like his game. You're going to love his energy. I'll tell you right now, Eklund, Iserman, and Schaefer together on one team, UBS, you guys are going to go out of your minds. Okay, you guys think you love Schaefer, you're going to cheat on Schaefer, and you're going to go switch to Eklund. And then you're going to cheat on Eklund with either Iserman or Schaefer, depending on the day. You guys are going to be so disloyal. That's the only way I can put this, Brian. You guys are going to love all 3 players. You're gonna it's a sexy combo. You guys are gonna cheat on Schaefer. I'm telling you now, you're gonna cheat on Schaefer with the energy Eklund brings and the energy that Iserman brings. Yeah, you guys are gonna be spoiled. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get into Eklund in a couple of weeks. I'll get into that. Finley right now, believe it or not, we're trying to figure out if Wisconsin is going to the big dance gym. And that's why I don't think you've heard anything on Finley. It might be another week, could be a couple of days, but there is a possibility Wisconsin is in the big dance uh, on the road to the Frozen Four. So that's why you haven't heard Finley yet. A little more Zep. A little more Zepp in Zetterberg. Zetterberg was perfect for that Western Conference. I would put Eklund in that Eastern Conference, an Eastern Conference version to Zetterberg, if that's all right with you. Yeah, Eklund is going to Hamilton. Yes, yeah. You have to give anyone who crosses the pond. You got to give them some time to adjust to a different life. That's usually how it works. Um, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to put any expectations on him yet. Uh, let's see how he. I don't think he. I think he'll adapt quicker than Holmstrom did in the North American game. Um, but let's get him over here first, and we'll go from there. They did. They drafted a few future captains, a couple of nice assistant captains. They're all in there, and that's the one thing there I really want them to do. I want them to change the culture of Hamilton first, or Bridgeport, whoever it is. Let them change the culture. Let them create the culture, along with the guys that are already there. Let's not take out the guys that are already there. Some of you, well, for some in Bridgeport, I think you can get a few call ups next season, at least for a cup of coffee. I don't think the guys are going to look out of place. I don't think the Islanders are going to lose every game if some of these Bridgeport players now come up. I don't see that happening, and that's something we have not said in a very long time. Carolina 1-0, end of first. Beautiful. It's scary to think about the potential of this team. Or yeah, no, get excited. Get excited. No doubt. Give it time, though. Give it time. This is, you guys have not been, I shouldn't say that. 93, 94, 95, 96. We've had these stories on this show before. Had that 93 team stayed intact with money, obviously, the locker room was good. We've already got confirmations of that from several players. You kept that team. You throw in Pelfy. You throw in McCabe. You throw in maybe Salo. Iffy. Definitely Jamie McLennan was part of that, already drafted. Todd Bertuzzi was there. And you throw in a 93 team? Yeah. Yeah. And Adam, I'm 49. Okay, I'm going to go with those Blake years. Had Milbury actually drafted to help out those teams after the 03-04, that's a completely different story as well. Okay? We're not drafting Josh Bailey. We're not drafting John Tavares. This is the one side right now where the Islanders are about to get this right. They're keeping the veterans to keep this team competitive where they can show Schaefer and Richie and Shabanoff and whoever else is left how things are ran in the locker room as Islanders, so that way when the American Hockey League players finally come up with their talent, there's their stepping stone. You know what I mean? There's the blueprint. They're going to follow Schaefer. They're going to follow Richie. They're going to follow any of the younger players. They're going to follow Barzell. They're going to follow Horvat because they're still going to be here. Part of me really feels that Horvat, especially Horvat, he may turn into a Stevie Yzerman, where Horvat will drop down on a line as a centerman. He'll play fourth line center until he's 40, but he may win 3 Stanley Cups while he's doing it. Islander fans, you're at that point. You're there, but this is the beginnings of it. This is the beginnings of it. I can't wait to talk more about this after the season is over. We got to get through this season. Absolutely. No, they are definitely headed in the right direction. Again, for me, who did not have them in the playoffs, I was very happy with the way they were after the 60 game mark at that trade deadline. That's a healthy organization for you guys, for everybody. Bingo. Yeah. And for my younger fans, I understand you want the younger players to come up sooner. The drawback is the Islanders have now been doing that for almost 50 years. No, not 50. Let's be a little nicer. Call it 83, 84. So we're a little over 40 years. You keep bringing up the players that are younger too early, you're going to continue to lose. The Islanders don't have a problem with money anymore. They're keeping their veterans. You're getting that new crop of kids coming in. Develop them first. You've got a bunch of veterans who are still winning. Now you're going to combine them with some kids who are ready. That, folks, we haven't seen in over 40 years. Actually, let's think about this. Yeah, no, it'll be 40 years, give or take. don't ruin this cycle by bringing up the kids early. Don't do it. Ah, Leo, Leo's trying to piss me off, folks. Not a rebuild. Not. If the Islanders were if the Islanders are where the Rangers are right now, yes. But the rebuild will take longer. I hate Leo right now. Bingo. Leo. I'm done with Leo. We had such a good conversation going. That's it. Leo's cut off. Any other questions, comments, concerns, boys and girls? Listen. I love Leo. No, don't take Leo's side. Uh yes. Yeah, Darsh does know how to develop, you know. Prokhorov in North America. You know what? Let me see him play a full season in the KHL. Honestly. Let me see him play a full game, a full season in the KHL if his numbers are okay. Yeah, there's no rush for him. Um, you could bring him up early, but yeah, let me see a full season out of him from the KHL first. Oh, what the hell is this? No, absolutely not. Uncle Leo Santos, yeah. So, any other questions, comments, concerns? Yeah, Islander fans, your playoffs have already started. No, they're not going to rush proof. Your playoffs have already started. You've already been given the stat. The more they hit, the more wins they get. They're undefeated when they out hit their opponents. There's a little more passion involved, which is probably what was missing to begin with. But that passion is also off their coach as well. They're going to come off their defensemen. It's all about passion, folks. Expressing your passion is not a problem when you're hitting. And like I said, you're not trying to take off someone's head. Just disrupt the flow of the other team. Just by doing that, um, you know, come on, man. Why am I getting thrown under the bus here? Joe is not here. Gary's not here. This is not your cues to fill in and bust my chops. What the hell? I see this. What the hell? Oh, no, heartburn, and then some. Guys, you're in the playoff race. And I'm not saying it's going to take a poke check to get into the playoffs or your Islanders history. Okay. But it may come down to game 82, folks. The stats, throw them out. Watch the games. If you lose one, it's not the end of the world. If you lose two, be nervous, but you're not out of it. The Islanders have put themselves in a spot where they're going to make you raise your blood pressure probably for the next month. Solid. Okay. Um, as you know, as far as I'm concerned, you got to get past the first round. As long as you don't play Claire, I can't even talk anymore. As long as you get, as long as you don't get Carolina in the first round, have fun with it. Yes, I do think we need 100 points to make the playoffs this year. Yeah, people keep asking that. Yes, you need 100 points. Your worst team right now, the Detroit Red Wings, are on pace for 99 points. Okay, the Ottawa Senators, a hot team, they're on pace for 96. They could go up. Yeah, drama, folks. This is what the NHL wants. This is it. Playoff atmosphere for the next month. No, we don't have to have Joe on. What the hell is this crap? How am I losing control of this entire show? It is a playoff bonus. It is for you guys. Absolutely. Nothing Hurricanes. Good. Always. Always. All right, guys, real quick. Thank you for coming on. Don't forget to follow us on X on Isles Talk. Please follow us on Facebook. Please hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. The numbers have been going up. You guys have been great. Um, I love you guys. Look, we're not family if we can't pick on each other, right? Come on. But again, if you guys can hit all the social medias for us, you can find me at P_Kreischer. We'll talk hockey anytime you want. Uh, Follow us on X at IELTS Talk, Facebook, and YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button. The more subscribers we get on YouTube, the more word gets spread out, the more conversations we have, and the better chance everyone gets to pick on me while I'm here doing the show. It's just that much fun. Listen, real quick. I'm probably going to be on Long Island sometime next week. I think it might be from one of the games. I'm not sure. But I'm probably going to do with Gary gone in Montreal this Saturday. I might do another Saturday morning or afternoon show. So, because we've been slacking off a little bit during the season, we've had some family stuff going on here. But I'd like to do maybe a Saturday show if that's all right with you. And for those of you on Long Island next week, I think I'm going to be around on Sunday. So, I'll find out my schedule. I'll let you guys know if you guys want to hang out. Let me know. We'll do a little viewing party or whatever we can. Maybe there's a game going on. So, other than that, folks, thanks for coming on. Yeah, we'll see if we can do we'll see if we can do a show on Saturday sometime. We'll let you know. Other than that, let's go Islanders. Have a great night. Get out your favorite drinks. It's gonna be a long month.